Oh man, babe, I am so nervous. Am I shaking? I feel like I'm shaking. What do I do?
Babe, stop panicking. My mom and dad aren't scary people. They're not going to try to drive you away. Come on, let's go inside. Mom, Dad, are you there? We're here. I brought Steven to introduce himself to you. Oh, looks like my brother and his wife are already here too.
Oh, you're here. How are you? Was the journey okay? It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. I'm Steven. Thank you so much for having us over. Oh my goodness, you made me jump. You're very brave coming out here to face us all, Steven. It's great to finally meet you. My name is Lucy. I'm Willow's mom. Hey there, Steven. I'm Willow's big brother, Liam, and this is my wife, Mia. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Steven. It's so lovely to finally meet you. What a great couple you guys make. Both of you are so beautiful.
Oh, you're being too kind. Willow is the beautiful one, not me. I brought a few gifts for everyone, actually. Shall I put them down here? You didn't need to do that. How generous of you. Thank you. I promise we weren't expecting you to bring anything with you. Come on, let's have something to eat. Seems like our little girl has some good taste in men. You seem like a fine young man.
Dad, stop teasing. Would you rather I had low standards and brought a string of weirdos home to meet you?
Both of you, let's leave it at that. Come on in, it's time for food. Let's go and sit down. We did ask Willow if you had any allergies or preferences, and she said you ate pretty much anything, so we've prepared all sorts of things. There's plenty to go around. Oh wow, this really is a lot of food. You can barely see the table. Well, it's a special occasion when our little girl comes home and brings a new person for us to meet. She kept telling us about what a great guy you were, so we wanted to make you feel welcome and at home. She told me to make sure you got the best seat at the table, so we decided to pull out all the stops and really make you feel comfortable. Go ahead, grab a plate and start eating. There's plenty, so help yourself. That's very kind of you, Roger. Thank you. Wow, this is all just so delicious. The texture is incredible too. It's all perfectly cooked. Eat as much as you want. I'm glad you like it. So, Willow mentioned to me that the two of you have been talking about getting married. Things must be pretty serious. How long have the two of you been dating now? We have been, yes. We've been dating for over 2 years, and we just feel confident that it's the right decision. We were actually introduced by some mutual friends who thought we would be a good pair. Oh, that's interesting. They clearly knew you would get on well. You seem to be about the same age as me, is that right? I think I remember Willow saying a friend of her had introduced her to someone, and that he was about my age. Are you 29? I am, yes. Same age as you. I work at a financial organization right now, in the security and data protection department. Oh wow, you're in data security. You must be a pretty smart guy. I hear they only hire top-level tech folks for jobs like that. I bet you're paid well, too.
Honey, you can't be asking things like that. Leave poor Steven alone. Stop interrogating him.
What do you mean? If they want to get married, it's important that we know he's financially stable and has a secure job to pay for the wedding, a house, and things in the future. I don't think I'm pushing for too much information, am I? No, I agree with you. It is important to make sure both people are on the same page about finances. It's a big change to go from dating to married, since it's such a big commitment. We've been gradually starting to have these kinds of conversations ourselves, actually. To be honest, I'm still not where I want to be in my career. I'm still fairly low on the career ladder, so I haven't been able to save up a huge pile of money. I'm sure you were all in the same position, though, trying to save up before you got married. Sorry to interrupt your conversation, folks. I was just half listening. How long have you been working for, Steven? It must be at least 5 or 6 years. Is that right? Have you had any thoughts about wanting to buy a house or anything like that? I'm still working on saving up enough for a down payment, but that is definitely something I want to do in the future. The place we're living in right now isn't bad by any means. It's clean and fairly well maintained. I'm just not in a financial position right now to make that kind of a decision. That's all.
I imagine you were worried when we all started asking you these kinds of hard-hitting questions. But don't worry. Hearing you answer me truthfully and plainly has actually made me feel more comfortable. Thank you for being honest. Actually, the reason we've been asking these things is because we've already heard a bit about your situation from Willow. Of course, we were curious about this man she kept talking about. Just asking about deposits, stuff like that.
Oh, right, I see. Are you against us getting married? Do you think I'm not good enough for your daughter?
Not at all. My wife and I may be old, but we're not stupid. We know that it would be impossible for two young people to get started on a life of their own without some help from their parents. If you would be okay with it, it would mean a lot to us if we could help the pair of you buy a house once you're married.
I'm sorry. I don't think I understand.
My husband has spent his whole life working for a construction company near us, so he knows a lot about houses and building standards. We've also had some luck with investing that has given us a little nest egg. We bought the shares a while ago, and they've done very well over the last few years. We used the money to buy an apartment in town. When our oldest child got married, we gave him an apartment for him and his wife to live in together. So we wanted to know if the two of you would like to move in there after your wedding. They will be moving out into a bigger place soon.
Oh my goodness. Are you sure? That feels like too much.
Babe, my mom and dad already told me about this a while ago, and I think it's a great idea. They're right. It would take us years to save up enough for a place on our own. It's a great location, too. It would be an easy commute to work for both of us. It's about in the middle of our offices. What do you think?
Well, I mean, of course. Of course we should be very grateful to your parents and accept their generous offer. Truly, thank you both so much. I don't know if there are words to express how grateful I am.
Oh, don't mention it. We know the realities for your generation, and we just want you to live a happy life together. If there is something we can do to help you both get started, then of course we will. You seem like a really decent guy from the conversations we've had today, and you've made a great impression on my wife and I. So, I wholeheartedly give my approval for you both to get married. You had better make a start on wedding planning.
Thank you, sir. Really. I just can't thank you enough. I'm so grateful to you both for everything.
There's no need to make a big fuss, sweetie. We're just happy we could help.
He's been well trained. He knows exactly how to impress the in-laws. What a smart guy.
Oh, leave him alone. Stop teasing. Steven, how did things go meeting Willow's family this afternoon? Were her mom and dad nice to you?
Yes, they really were. I thought I knew a bit about her family and their situation, but they were living more comfortably than I had expected, Mom.
What? What do you mean by that? Are they living in a nice part of town?
Well, you know how Willow moved out and she's living opposite her school, right? So I hadn't seen her parents' place before. It's in a pretty fancy neighborhood downtown, and the house is big too. Nice garden and everything.
What? Well, if it's only downtown, then the neighborhood can't be that nice. Sounds like there isn't really that much difference between her family's situation and ours, to be honest.
No, Mom, I'm telling you. Their house is really nicely renovated and finished, and they've got a new apartment too. Oh, that's another thing. We were all introducing ourselves and just chatting at the beginning. Then out of nowhere, her dad asked what we were going to do about a house once we're married. He wanted to know if I had enough saved to buy something.
Oh my goodness. Do you mean he was thinking you would move in with them? Well, I guess people that have everything always want more, but don't want to share their wealth with the rest of us. Well then, what did you say? Are you going to move in with them or find something yourself?
He said they were going to give us an apartment, actually. Apparently, her dad has worked in the construction industry for most of his career, so he knows a lot about building and renovating. They've been investing in stocks, too, and they said they've had a lot of success and managed to save up some money. He told me not to worry about trying to save up a deposit and to just move into an apartment that they already own. Isn't that great?
That seems kind of unbelievable. Is Willow's family really that rich?
They sure seem to be. Like I said, they have a nice big house in a good neighborhood. They were saying that the apartment is really nice, too. It's newly built and all high-spec finishes. I am a bit worried, though. What if Willow realizes I'm not good enough for her? I don't want to feel like a burden to her family. I hadn't realized how well off they were. What if I can't meet her standards?
What are you talking about? Don't be ridiculous. It's not like you grew up on the streets. We're doing just fine for ourselves. Besides, Willow is only a school teacher. Compare that to your job in finance, and you're doing much better than she is. How much are you earning right now? You got a pay rise recently, right? I bet you're earning 5 times what she is. Why are you worrying? She would have to work 200 years to earn as much as you do right now. You earn more than her, so there's no reason to worry about her judging you or complaining.
Still, her parents have been incredibly generous and are clearly very wealthy, and I just don't feel like I have anything to offer in return. It's tough feeling like I owe them. Her dad has clearly been working at the construction company for many years and has climbed the ladder pretty high. I think he said he was an executive director or something like that.
Executive? You know, executives aren't earning millions of dollars. I'm sure his salary can't be that different from your dad's.
Well, however much he owns several properties and is a good investor. He's definitely making more than us. He must have had some money to be able to invest in the first place, too. You can't make millions off of investing $1. Even if he's not much good at it, I would guess that he's made his money back and then some. Plus, he's not just an executive. At director level, I'm sure he's making more than just a decent living.
Even so, stop doubting yourself. You're great too. He's just older than you and has had more time to save up this money. I don't care if he earns 5 times as much as you. You should still be proud of what you've achieved so far. And if the two of you do end up getting married, you'll be the one supporting yourselves anyway. What is there to worry about? You have a good job and you're getting a free apartment.
Honestly, Mom, their house was incredible. The plates all looked like really expensive ceramics, and the dining table was made of marble. It was crazy. Walking around it felt like I was in a movie set for the rich family's house. Everything was so perfect and tidy. It's only natural to feel a bit overwhelmed and out of your depth in a place like that, to be honest.
Even if you do feel overwhelmed, you should keep your chin up. Be proud of yourself and your achievements. If I thought of you being miserable in that big fancy house, it would tear me apart. Don't let them bring you down. Stay positive and determined. By the way, did you ask them how much their house was worth? It's making me so curious hearing you describing it.
Mom, of course I didn't ask how much their house cost. That would have been totally inappropriate. Like I said, it was a big place in a nice neighborhood. It had a decent-sized yard, too, and a double garage, so I would guess it's worth a fair bit.
Hey, if they've got enough money to just give you guys a brand new apartment, they're clearly doing very well. It's a bit awkward, but can't you find out? The curiosity is killing me. Just ask them the next time you see them.
Just leave it, Mom. I'm not asking them. They're only giving us an apartment anyway, not a whole house. I could probably have afforded that on my own, but it's still very kind of them. I won't ask them rude questions. I'm getting pretty tired too, so I'm going to head up to bed now. Sleep well, Mom. See you in the morning.
Okay, fine. Good night, honey. I'm so pleased for him that he's found a girl with a wealthy family to marry into. Still, I'm worried about him feeling uncomfortable around them. He's always so conscious of social wrongs. He's going to be walking on eggshells for his whole life. Stephen has always been too worried about things like that, but he's doing so well for himself. He's grown into a fine young man with a secure, stable job and good manners. What more could her family ask for? It seems a real shame that he should be so intimidated by meeting her family. I hope his nerves go away soon. It's a great thing that they're going to give him an apartment. He'll be able to save more if he isn't paying rent every month. And this way, if something goes wrong with the new place, it won't be under his name, so it will be their responsibility to fix it. It would be such a great thing to see him so well settled. Hi there. It's great to meet you both. You must be Karen and Ian. I'm Willow, Stephen's girlfriend. Oh, come on in. How are you? Wait a second, Steven never told me she was this pretty. She looks like a model. Her hair color looks expensive too. Those are some amazing highlights. She must have paid a lot for that. Her shoes look really fancy too. I'm sure they're designer. I heard you can tell if someone is rich based on their hair and their shoes. Maybe it really is true. Karen? Here, I brought some gifts with me. Can I put them here for you? I knew I couldn't come and meet my future in-laws empty-handed, so I picked up a few things I hoped you would like. Please go ahead and open them.
That's very kind of you. Oh, wow, what is this? This looks like a very fancy bottle of scotch. What an amazing box it comes in, too. This all looks very expensive. What a luxurious treat. It's such a huge bottle.
Perhaps you could have some after dinner this evening? Well, I promised there was no need to bring expensive things for the sake of them being expensive. Sometimes cost doesn't guarantee quality, but this is very kind of you even so. Thank you, Willow. Now I've prepared some food and everything is laid out in the dining room. Come on, let's go through and eat. I hope I haven't missed any of your favorites. Wow, this is so much food. I'm full just looking at it. Thank you. This all smells so delicious. I can't wait to dig in. I'm pretty hungry after the drive over.
Goodness, you seemed a bit shy when you first introduced yourself, but this food has certainly brought you out of your shell. We've made all our usual things. We have a bit of a menu for special occasions or when we have guests over.
What are you talking about? This is what our meals always look like. Don't be ridiculous. This is a normal spread for us. Anyway, please help yourself. Thank you. I'm so excited to try everything.
Anyway, Steven tells us you're a teacher. Is that right? Must be a tough job.
Yes, I work as a science teacher at the middle school near me. I've been teaching there for about 5 years now, and I really love it.
Wow, a science teacher! Steven always wanted to be a teacher when he was younger, you know, but he was more interested in teaching sports and games. Now look at him. He couldn't do it himself, so he's marrying a teacher instead.
Hey, watch your mouth. Besides, I don't think I always wanted to be a teacher, did I? I think every kid idolizes one of their teachers at some point. That's normal. It doesn't mean I always dreamed of becoming a teacher.
Yes, leave your brother alone. No need to embarrass him in front of company. We should be on our best behavior in front of our guest. You need to let him keep his dignity and lead our family with pride. He's going to be representing us all. Isn't that right, Willow? Yes, I agree. In my family, my dad always got served first at mealtimes, and we had to wait to start eating until he did. My mom was always very proud to say she was his wife. I guess you could say they were a bit old school. I've always been raised with those kinds of traditional values, so I think I learned from a young age how I should behave. If everyone respects each other and you have someone to act as a leader and make decisions, it helps things to run smoothly so there are less fights and everyone gets along. You're right, sweetie. I'm glad you agree. Those kinds of ideals are very important to me. Your mom and dad raised you well.
Well then, I think Karen and I have heard all we need to about you. We're just thankful that you're willing to support your family and try your best to make a happy environment in your home. Honestly, we don't have any objections, and would love to give our blessing for your marriage. Now, let's eat. Let's spend some quality time together and get to know each other. This will be a great opportunity for us all to grow closer.
Thank you, both of you. My parents really like your son, too, so I'm glad I've got the stamp of approval. They said how nice it was to meet someone who would openly say how grateful they were for everything. It made them feel so appreciated. What? They want him to tell them how grateful he is. Do they think we haven't been giving him a good life? How rude of them to make an assumption like that. Well, you know, I am confident that my children have never missed out on anything. I know I've raised them right. I think that's the duty of every parent, to make sure their kids have everything they need when they're growing up.
There is one thing I've been really curious about, though, Willow. So I hope you don't mind me asking. What makeup products do you use? Your skin looks absolutely amazing. I'm so jealous.
I'm sorry? You want to know what makeup products I have on?
It's just that your skin looks completely smooth. There's not a mark or a bump on it. You can tell straight away when you look at my skin that I'm not a teenager anymore. I've got all kinds of acne scars and little lines. What's your secret?
Oh, I see. Well, I don't think I really do anything special, to be honest. I make sure I wash my face and dry it properly every day, and I moisturize every morning and evening. I don't have any special tips or tricks, though. I use a mix of different products, too. Mostly just drugstore things that I can buy easily. Every so often, I treat myself to something a bit nicer, though, from a proper brand.
Oh, I see. Do you ever go to the spa and get a facial? I hear they're really good for your skin and so relaxing.
Every so often, my mom takes me with her to go get a treatment, but it's only very occasionally. I only go so we can spend some time together, and she doesn't go very often.
I should have guessed. I could tell you took good care of your skin. It's almost too perfect. It looks like you're glowing from the inside. How amazing.
Leave it alone now, honey. This isn't the place to be interrogating our guest about her skincare regimen. You may be the youngest one here today, but that's no excuse to forget your manners. You can't be asking a stranger those kinds of personal questions.
Oh, Mom! Come on, I'm just curious. I'm sure Willow doesn't mind me asking, do you? Right?
Sure, I don't mind. It's sweet of you to say such kind things, and if you're curious about something, then it's fine to ask questions. Oh, then, what is your salary? You can't earn much just working in a school. As far as I know, teachers aren't very well paid. You always see stories in the media about teachers living in their cars because they can't afford a flat. I suppose if you two do end up getting married, your income will double, but I'm curious about what you're earning right now.
Sweetheart, do you think that's an appropriate question? Willow might not be comfortable answering that when we've just met.
It's important that we know what our future daughter-in-law situation is. She's marrying our son. Willow, you agree, don't you? Especially since Steven is earning about $100,000 a year. We have to be careful about this kind of thing. Yes. Well, right now I earn about $55,000 a year. I would say I'm comfortable, but not wealthy. I do the job because I love it. I was offered a promotion this year, actually, but I didn't take it because I was busy getting everything ready for our wedding. That's why my salary is a little lower than average for someone who's been working as long as I have. But I'm hopeful that I will be promoted next year and the new job title comes with a salary increase. I'm sure you already know this, but there is a pretty clear salary system in teaching, so there's a limit to how much you can earn at each stage of your career. When you first start out, the salary is really bad. Most people have to live at home or out of their cars, like you said, but it's worth it if you're truly passionate. Then, as you start to climb the ladder, you see a pay rise at each different level. By the time you're a head teacher or something, the pay is actually really good, especially if you're in a wealthier district. You could earn about $100,000 a year. Goodness me! I'm sure it would take a long time to reach that kind of pay, though. How long have you been teaching now? And you still only earn $55,000 a year? You're right that these things take time, but I think teaching is a very honorable profession. It's tough sometimes, but I'm proud of what I do. Money is money, but for me, this job is about feeling fulfilled and happy about my career choice. Huh. Well, that may be true, but you still need to live. I don't think anyone really chooses a job without even considering the salary.
Well, honey, don't you think you're being a bit thoughtless? You can't be saying these kinds of things in front of a teacher. It's rude.
I just want to make sure I know who my son is marrying, that's all. Goodness, I can't say anything in this house without someone complaining about it. Either way, you both seem determined to get married, so I doubt I could stop you even if I wanted to. I'm saying these things because I need to get things straight and know exactly what he's getting himself into. Surely you understand that. Don't deliberately misunderstand me. Just listen to what I'm saying and be honest. Is that okay with you? Of course, Karen. I promise I'm not offended by any of this. Please ask whatever you want and don't worry about hurting my feelings. Oh, really? Well, good. It's refreshing to be able to talk to someone without them getting upset about every little thing. Oh, what am I thinking? You don't have a plate! Give me a moment, I can go and grab you one from the other room.
I'm sorry, baby. My mom is just very protective.
She's proud of me for getting a good job, and she worries about me being taken advantage of.
Don't worry about it, babe. It just shows she's proud of you, and she should be. You're doing really well.
You think so? I feel like your house is on another level to mine. This must seem pretty low-key to you. You must be used to much higher standards than this. I am pretty surprised that's all she earns, though. I didn't realize teachers were that badly paid. I bet her parents are helping her pay for things. Come on, both of you. Let's stop talking about boring things like money and just eat. Tuck in.
Sarah! What are you doing just lying around all day? It may be Sunday, but that doesn't mean you can just roll around in bed until late. Come on, you should get up and exercise or something. Help me out with the chores. You saw your brother's girlfriend yesterday. She was so slim and elegant. You should try and get toned like her. What about Pilates?
Oh, stop nagging me. It's fine. People are just built differently, and that's okay. I just want a relaxing Sunday. Leave me alone. Wait, what? Oh my God! Mom! Look at this. I knew it. This is definitely it.
What are you talking about? This is definitely what?
Look, this photo! This is the bag that Willow was carrying around yesterday. I've been trying to find it all morning. I mean, this one doesn't have the designer logo on, but the shape and the straps are all exactly the same. Look, you can't tell the difference. Man, I thought it was a designer bag. I'm kind of bummed that I was right.
Huh. It's a designer bag. I would never have guessed that from looking at it.
Yes, look here. It's worth about $2,000 if you buy it new from the store.
What? $2,000? That's a crazy amount of money to spend on a bag. I've never bought one for more than $200, and they've all done the job.
Well, these days you have to spend a lot if you want a decent bag. Shoes are getting more and more expensive too, for ones that look nice and are decent quality. By the time you're in your early 30s, like Willow is, I think most people would want to have invested in at least one nice bag, even if it is expensive.
Goodness me. That seems like a stupid thing to be spending your money on. She might even have more than one expensive designer bag for all we know. How much do you think her shoes cost then? Were they designer too?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I didn't really see her shoes much since we were sat down at the table for most of the time. From what I saw, though, they look pretty expensive too, don't you think?
How wasteful. She clearly doesn't make very smart financial decisions, spending thousands of dollars on shoes and bags. I hope she doesn't expect Stephen to pay for all of this after they're married. He's always been sensible with his money.
Huh? Mom, give her a break. Of course she wanted to wear all her nicest things. Wouldn't you want to make a good impression when you're meeting your boyfriend's parents? I'm sure she doesn't usually wear things like that except for special occasions.
No, I don't think that's what it was. I'm sure she has loads of stuff like that. She seemed very irresponsible.
What? Why are you suddenly judging her for her shoes? No way. Are you going to tell them you won't let them get married? Mom, you have to let them get married this time. This could be a real turnaround in his life. You have to give her a chance. Besides, he mentioned that her family is wealthy. Maybe the bag was a gift from her mom and dad, and she didn't buy it herself. Stephen and her both come from good families. We don't need to be discriminating or judging people for their income and how they spend their money.
Don't be silly. Why would I oppose their marriage? I would never try to tell Stephen what to do. He's an adult now. Of course they can get married if they want to. I'm just concerned. I couldn't even ask her about her family's circumstances properly yesterday, since her father kept talking over me. How frustrating. I'm so curious. I thought she gave us a business card yesterday, but now I can't find it. That was very weird. What kind of middle school teacher is handing out business cards left and right?
Maybe it was just a formality, so you could see all her information and have a way of contacting her if you needed it. Like I said, she must have been trying to make a good impression on you yesterday.
Well, I guess she's a teacher, so it makes sense that she was expressing herself well. She didn't seem stupid. I'm sure we'll see her again soon, and then I'll be able to talk to her about everything that's been on my mind.
Mom, Mom, come on! Stop bothering the poor girl and just trust Steven's judgment. She seemed nice. She said that her family really liked him, too. We should try and be welcoming to her and get to know her better, instead of asking questions like some kind of detective. There's no need to keep digging for some kind of secret. She seems like a normal, friendly girl.
You stay out of this. Steven is my son and I'm worried about him. He's easily the most successful person in our family, and I want to make sure she's with him for the right reasons. He's a well-known guy working in finance. Maybe she found out about that and she's a gold digger. You saw her fancy bag.
Oh, what kind of person says things like that these days? She's making her own money, Mom.
You be quiet. That's enough from you. Leave me to deal with this. Yes, Mom, I got it. I promise I won't go anywhere and spend money when I see Willow later. Is that okay? Good. You need to show some self-restraint and stop spending money on fancy dates, Steven. There's no reason to feel like you owe their family something for offering to give you an apartment. You're still young. You don't have the kind of wealth they do yet. If you keep spending your money like this, you'll never be able to give them something big in return for their generosity. You should be saving every penny. Just do as I say, okay? I'm older and wiser than you. I know what I'm doing. Yes, Mom. You know exactly how much I earned, though, so you know it's not nothing. You told me to get a stable job, and I did. Why isn't that enough? I just want to be able to spend my own money. Son, listen to me. Honestly, the fact that you're getting married is all thanks to me. I'm going to talk to Willow myself later, so if she asks you what it's about, just say you don't know. Understand? Now get out of here. Go on, go. Be safe today, and I'll see you later. Good luck, sweetie. I'm always careful, Mom. I'll see you later.
Man, I'm beat. Okay, that's everything finished with that class, so now I had better get things together for the next one. How do people balance a job and wedding prep? I just feel like there aren't enough hours in the day. Hello? Who is this?
Hi, sweetie, it's Karen. You remember, Steven's mom.
Oh, hi, Karen. How are you doing? Are you well? I'm guessing you got my number from Steven. Is there something on your mind?
Yes, there is actually. I've been thinking about some things to do with your wedding. Do you have a minute now, or are you busy? Can you talk?
Sure, I can make some time. Give me a second to call Steven.
No, I wanted to talk just you and me. It would take even longer to find a time that worked for all three of us, don't you think? It's easier for just the two of us to chat.
I mean, we could all meet after work, but... no, you're right. Let's you and I meet up somewhere to talk properly.
Sounds good. Okay, I'll send you a location now. Do you think you could meet me there in a couple of hours? You're not too busy.
Sure, if you send me the location, I can be there. If I get held up with something and it looks like I'll be late, I'll just call you to let you know. I still have some work to finish, but I'll tell you when I'm on my way over. See you later.
That's perfect. See you soon. Bye.
Talk to you later, Karen. What can she want? This seems a bit strange. To be meeting up without Steven.
Hello? How come you're calling me while you're still at work?
Hi, babe. It's only a quick question. I was just wondering if you had spoken to your mom recently?
Huh? What do you mean? Is something wrong?
No, nothing's wrong. She just called me out of the blue. She said she wanted just the two of us to meet up face-to-face to chat. Just us. Did she mention anything to you?
No, she didn't, but maybe there was something she wanted to speak to you about privately.
You don't know? Don't you think you should be there too? It seems odd for me to see her on my own. I don't really know what she and I have to talk about if you're not there. We really haven't known each other for very long. I'm worried about it being awkward.
Oh, there's no need to worry, baby. There's nothing scary or awkward about my mom.
Besides, I'm busy with something else this afternoon, so I wouldn't be able to come anyway. I'll talk to you later. Hope everything goes okay this afternoon. Talk to you later.
This all seems really weird. I don't know why she kept asking me about my salary the other day. It's pretty easy to find the average middle school teacher salary online. She could have just done that. Man, I have a bad feeling about this. Hi there, Karen. I hope you haven't been waiting for me for too long. I'm sorry I'm late. I got held up with something at work and finished later than I had expected. I came as soon as I could. There was pretty bad traffic today, though. I guess it was rush hour, so it made me later.
Dearie me. They really don't pay you much. Is your work really that important? I thought teachers always got to finish early. Plus, you get summer break. Surely once the kids have gone home, there's nothing else for you to do. What can possibly have held you up?
Oh, well, the job isn't just teaching the kids during class times, you know. There's a lot of prep work and stuff that goes on outside of class, so there's more to being a teacher than you might think.
But if you keep finishing work late like this, then surely you won't have enough time to do the housework. What about the cooking and cleaning? This doesn't seem like it's going to work for Stephen. He can't do everything by himself if she's working until late. Let's just be honest with each other from now on. How's that? I've been thinking about your relationship with my son, and I'm worried that it isn't going to be very equal. No matter how I look at things, it just doesn't seem balanced.
I'm sorry? I'm not sure what you mean by unequal.
I don't think the two of you are going to have a very fair relationship. That's what it means. He's told me all about your family and your circumstances, and I'm concerned. Now, I don't mean to say that Stephen has grown up worrying about having enough to eat every day, because our family has always been secure financially. I don't want my son to have to spend the rest of his life paying for your lifestyle, though. Why don't your parents invest some more to support you?
Karen, you said we should be straightforward with each other. So please, I want you to be completely honest with your answer to my next question. What more do you want for your son from a wife than what I can give him? What is there that isn't good enough?
I want both of you to pull your weight and provide your fair share for your household. That is how things should be and how things should work. Both partners doing their bit. From my perspective, I think you are living too extravagantly, and I don't want my son to be responsible for paying for that. I think you need to be able to support yourself if you want to live with my son, so he doesn't have to carry you both financially. Who is going to pay for the wedding? Do you have any savings? I have to be this clear to make sure she gets my point. If I tried to be polite, she wouldn't understand my concern. If I shake her down now, Stephen will have an easier time in his marriage down the line.
Just a moment.
Hey, baby, what's up?
I'm with your mom right now, and I've put you on speakerphone so we can both hear you. She's trying to be subtle, but she seems to be saying she wants me and my family to cover all the expenses with the wedding, finding a house, and once we're married. What do you think about this as an arrangement?
Huh? I mean, that doesn't sound like something my mom would say. Are you sure that's what she means?
Oh, I see. So the two of you have already spoken about this. I'm guessing you agree with her then. You think that would be fair?
What? No way! Look, your parents have already said they will give us an apartment. I don't know how much it was, but that is already very generous of them. Although we do clearly have very different salaries, so... I do sometimes think that later that could cause some problems. So I agree with some of what she's saying.
Okay, I understand. I don't need to hear any more of this. I'm leaving now.
What do you think you're doing? How dare you hang up on my son like that? That was incredibly rude. What the hell do you think you're playing at? Are you crazy? How can you behave like this in front of your future mother-in-law?
You think I'm crazy? I'm trying to sort out this whole mess of a situation because I seem to be the only sensible one here. I'm calling off the wedding. From the very beginning, I thought you were a rude and unkind woman, asking me about my salary the very first time we met. You look down on my job as a teacher, which I love and am so passionate about. Thank you for showing me your true colors so quickly and saving me some time.
What? How can you speak to me like this? So disrespectful and inappropriate. Is this really your decision? You're the one being rude here, talking to me like this. I can't believe what I'm hearing. You call yourself a science teacher, responsible for so many students at your school. I certainly hope you're not teaching them that this kind of behavior is acceptable, because it absolutely is not.
I teach my students to respect themselves and always make the right decisions. I know I'm a good teacher. I knew you were behaving in a rude, crass, and unfair way from the moment I first met you, but I didn't say anything for Steven's sake. I was the bigger person in every conversation with you. I tolerated you because I knew he loved you and that you were an important part of his life. I was going to write off your judgments since it's just how you were raised, and you told me you held many very traditional values. But I'm not here to try and sell myself to you. Why would I bother doing that? Clearly, you don't think anyone will ever be good enough for your son.
Excuse me? Sell yourself? Is that what you just said? Do you really think a good teacher would say those sorts of things? You wouldn't have to sell yourself if you were more successful. Or can you not do maths, since you're just a science teacher? Perhaps you don't know how to calculate things evenly. I don't know how wealthy or successful your family claims to be, but I do know that my son earns far more money than you at his job, and I don't want him to have to give you handouts for the rest of his life. He deserves better than a gold digger who just wants him for his money.
Do you know much about business yourself? The way you talk about your son is like someone making a business exchange. Don't you think that's not a good way to think about marriage? Did you think my parents were giving us an apartment because I couldn't afford it on my own? Do you think I'm completely financially irresponsible? Of course not. They were just parents wanting to make their child's life a little easier because they were in a position to do so. I didn't expect my parents' love for me to backfire like this. You clearly don't like me anyway, so why are you trying to make me call this off myself? You should have just said you wouldn't allow it. Let me go ahead and make this easier for you. I wish you and your son all the best in finding a good business partner for him to marry.
Goodness, is that Steven calling you now? Why aren't you answering the phone? When have I ever told you I had objections to you? I never once objected to him marrying you. I just wanted to make sure you both had an idea of how to handle your finances after you got married. I don't think I went too far or did anything unreasonable.
Exactly. I wish you the best of luck finding someone else who thinks of finances first when they're getting married. Clearly, that person is not me. One thing you had failed to consider, though. Do you think working people have the exact same salary for their entire career? You don't think it will go up as they gain experience and get promoted over time? What if Steven was ever in a position where he wasn't earning enough anymore? Are you saying that you would pay me to make up the difference in salaries? Of course not. But that's what you're asking me to do.
What are you talking about? That's not what I meant at all.
Do you think people are always the same? That no one changes through the course of their life? We can't predict the future, not even what happens in the next 1 minute or 1 second that passes. That's just life. I'm not going to stay here trying to change your mind any longer. I'm leaving. Don't call me again, and stop bothering me now. We're done. I've already told your mom that I'm calling off the wedding, so the two of you can deal with this mess yourselves.
What? What do you mean? Willow? Are you there? Ha! Wow, you really are a stupid girl. Well, my God. The way you're acting tells me all I needed to know about you and your family anyway. You knew you were nothing special and that Steven was too good for you, and you got scared. That's why you're running away now. I guess things turned out for the best. Good riddance. What was that about? I know my mom was pretty blunt, but Willow went really crazy. Did Mom say anything wrong, though? I think she was making some good points. I do earn more than most people my age. That's just a fact. Isn't it kind of a given that my mom would be protective of me? I'm her first son, and I've got myself a good job. Besides, I don't need an apartment from Willow's parents anyway. In a few years, I'll be making enough that I can just buy one for myself with my own money. Huh? What's this? Who's calling me at this time? Willow's mom? Has she already called her and told her that we're not getting married? She doesn't waste any time, huh? What kind of girl does everything so urgently? It's not like the wedding is tomorrow. I can't even remember if she was always like this. She hung up on me so abruptly earlier, too. Anyway, I should answer and see what she wants. Hi, Steven. How are you, sweetie? Are you busy? You're not in the middle of anything, are you? I figured it was about home time, so maybe you would be able to talk. Are you still at work? Huh? Oh, sure. Sorry, yes, I can talk for a bit. I still have some time before I leave work. Oh, really? Goodness, you must be so busy at the office. That's a late finish. I just wanted to call and let you know that I've sent you some photos of the apartment so you can have a look at it. When you come and see it in person, you'll notice that we've had all the walls repainted so it's fresh for you. Make sure you have a look at the photos. We've done all the work for you, so there shouldn't be anything that you have to worry about getting ready before you move in. I'm sorry. You've sent photos of the apartment? Yes, they should come through soon. There were some people living here, so I couldn't get in before now. But they're all moved out, so I went to get some photos for you. Check them out when you get a chance. I've sent you the address too, so you can have a look at the neighborhood. Anyway, I'll let you go so you can finish up your work. Talk to you soon. Yes, sure, I'll talk to you later. What was that about? Why is she sending me photos of the apartment? Wait, what? Oh my god! Is this the address? This is in the really fancy new area uptown. That's such an expensive part of town. I could never afford to live there. Oh my god, it's worth $1 million? That's crazy! Oh man, now my mom is calling. I'm not going to answer. Hello? Steven, is that you? Listen, that girl was way too fancy and thought she was too good for us. She would never have been a good wife for you. Just forget about the marriage. Oh well. God, when I think about all the things she said to me. What a rude young woman. How can she speak to her elder like that? Mom, listen to me. The apartment that Willow's parents were going to give us. It's in that fancy new area uptown that's all being redeveloped. What did you just say? You mean it's in one of those luxury buildings that have just been finished? Yes. The views are crazy. You can see the whole city. The place is huge too, and really high-spec finishes. The rooms are massive. There is so much space and light. I looked up how much it was worth, and an apartment that big goes for over $1 million. Over $1 million? Really? Are you being serious right now? Is it really that expensive? What have we done? I mean, she doesn't earn much on her own, but if her family can afford a place that's worth that much, maybe we made the wrong call. Mom, just be quiet and listen to me for a second. I'm going to get Willow back. I have to. The first thing we have to do is you have to go over to her place right now and apologize. Tell her whatever. Just make sure you say sorry. We have to try to catch her before she finds out I know where the apartment is. She would never marry me if she knew why we're doing this. Okay, I understand. I'll go over there right now and talk to her. I just have to try to be positive and reframe my thoughts. It's a good thing I found out what his family was like early on and ended things. I should have been suspicious when his mom started asking about my salary from the very beginning. That was the first red flag. I don't want to be part of a family that's so desperate for money. No, thank you. Huh? What's that noise? Babe, there you are. Steven? What are you doing here? We broke up. Why do we still need to see each other? It's over. I came to apologize to you. I was wrong, and I'm sorry. I think I didn't stop to consider how rude my mom was being to you, and you got hurt because of me. I should have stopped her. I should have said something.
Really, I am so sorry.
He's right, Willow. I came to apologize too. I was too harsh on you. I should never have said those things. I'm really sorry. I can see now that... Well, I can see that I was mean to you. I got upset and said things that were cruel and unfair. Is this some kind of plan the two of you have come up with? Karen, I found out the truth about you earlier when you spoke to me like I was a stupid, money-hungry rat. It hasn't even been a few hours since then, and suddenly you're turning up at my place trying to apologize? What gives? Don't you think it seems a bit funny? Seeing someone behave like that and then come crying and apologizing a few hours later. It's strange, right? I know, it's just... I realized there was a difference in your family's circumstances and ours, and it made me anxious. I let my worries get the better of me and I lashed out at you. It was totally unreasonable of me to act like that, and I'm sorry. You should be grateful, having a daughter-in-law that would love your son and make him happy. Don't you think you should have been more grateful for that? I was offering Stephen a comfortable, happy life with me. Are you really going to ask for more than that? Get out of here now. I've been polite enough to you, and I don't want to have to deal with you anymore. Come on, Willow. Why don't we go and get a cup of tea together and see if we can work this out? Just drop it. I can already tell that if we did meet up again, the exact same thing would happen. You seem desperate to convince me Stephen is too good for me. What else do you want? Have you come here just because you realized it was too much of a waste to throw away a decent apartment? Sure, your son is a successful young man, but if you're going to use him as a pawn for your business moves, go and find someone else. I'm done with both of you. Why would I make a fuss trying to marry into a family that clearly hates me?
Baby, please listen to me. I don't know why you're getting so upset right now. Please, just try to calm down and stop getting angry. Come on, I just want to talk to you. Sure, my mom was rude and unkind to you, but she's apologized, and I didn't really do anything wrong. If it's going to upset you having to be around her, we can live a perfectly happy life together and just never see her. I promise you would never have to look at her again. What do you say? Will you give us another chance?
I told you I'm done. Don't bother trying to change my mind. You already said that you agreed with what she was saying earlier, so I don't see what else there is to talk about. I already know you're not the kind of man I want to marry.
Baby! Please, how can I fix this? Do you want me to get on my knees and beg? I will if that's what you want. I went crazy for a second earlier when I told you my mom was right, but I see that now.
Oh my goodness. What's all this commotion in front of my house? What's going on? Stephen, what are you doing here? It's nothing, Mom. Just go back inside. I'll be in a moment. What do you mean? Clearly something is going on here. I went to the apartment today now that our previous renters have moved out. And then all of a sudden I come home and there's some fuss happening outside of my house. Oh, who's this woman? Wait, are you... I'm Karen, Stephen's mother. You must be Lucy. Nice to meet you. Goodness, I can't believe this is how we're first meeting. I'm so embarrassed to see you like this. There has just been a slight misunderstanding between Willow and myself, so I came over to talk to her and work things out. If it's okay with you, this should only take a second. I'm sure we can resolve this between ourselves. Don't worry. What is there to talk about? I told you, I'm done. Mom, I called off the wedding. Karen was demanding all kinds of things from me in exchange for getting to marry Stephen. She wanted the apartment, gifts, all sorts of things. I didn't see why I should have to do all of that. Am I some kind of charity case?
No, baby, of course not. But please, how can you tell your mom all those things?
Oh, shut up, Stephen. What are you talking about, Willow? She told you that you had to give her all those expensive things? And then she had the nerve to come here and try to talk to you. I can't believe this. An adult woman, expecting all of that from a young middle school teacher. Karen, you're clearly trying to force my daughter to marry your son for your personal gain. Do you think my daughter owes all that to your family for being allowed to marry your son? You must be crazy. No, of course not. I would never expect all that. Don't be silly. Like I said earlier, there has been a big misunderstanding. I spoke too harshly earlier and upset Willow. It's just that, well...
What kind of misunderstanding was there? Everything I said just now about what happened earlier? Was there a misunderstanding there? Am I confused about something?
God, it's almost impressive watching you both try to dig out of your hole. Don't you dare contact my daughter again. Why should my young daughter have to spend her hard-earned money on you and your son? She deserves to spend it on herself, however she wants. I know why you're really here, trying to get her back. You finally looked at those photos I sent and realized where the apartment we were going to give you is, right? Isn't that true?
Sorry? No, that's not what happened. It was nothing like that, I swear. Is that really what it was that brought you here on your hands and knees? You found out where the apartment was, and coincidentally realized you wanted nothing more in the world than to marry me? Don't make me laugh. God, both of you are crazy! Like mother, like son, I guess. I really had no expectations for you, so it's actually quite impressive that you've still managed to disappoint me. Good job, Steven.
Babe, no, please. Lucy, won't you listen to me? I promise. Let me marry Willow and I will give her the best life she could wish for. I'll buy her flowers every day and rings every year. She will never feel sad ever again if you just let me marry her. I'll make sure her path never crosses with my mom either. She'll never have to see or speak to her again. I'll only ever think of you, Willow. I promise. He's right. All of that is true. I was being thoughtless earlier, and I said things that were mean and unfair. I am truly so sorry. Lucy, could you and I speak for a second? I'm sure we can figure this out, huh? There's no need and no point. Willow has made her decision. Now get out of here. Get off my property right now. If you won't leave, I will have no choice but to call the cops and have you removed. Do you understand? Willow, please.
Steven, thanks to you, I have wasted 2 years of my life. Still, I'm just glad it wasn't any longer, and that I'm free of you now. You've opened my eyes to your true character. Thank you. I'm glad you made it clear who you really were before we got married.
Willow, Lucy, please, listen to me. But the apartment, it was going to be mine. That was going to be our house together when we were married. This is all your fault, Mom. You ruined everything for me, and now it's all a complete mess. Oh, what do we do now? This is a disaster. Willow, come back. What have I done? This must be karma for something I did in a previous life. What did I do to deserve this? Man, I guess this is how I turned 35. Oh, come on, Steven. A lot of your bad luck is your own fault. Let's be honest here. Besides, you went out on that blind date recently. How was that? Was she not really your type? I mean, she was just some ordinary office worker. She didn't seem very driven or professional, and I want someone that's as successful as me. Plus, she worked at a really small company. It wasn't even regional. It was just a local business. Stop being so gloomy. You're still young. You just keep writing girls off for stupid reasons. At your age, you should know your absolute deal breakers in a partner, but you just seem confused. The last date you went on, you said she was too old. The one after that, you said you didn't like her family. You're just being too picky. No one is perfect, get used to it. If you carry on like this, you won't end up getting married until you're about 50. He's right, you know. I've introduced you to some friends of mine too to see if you hit it off with them. Your standards are just too high. You need to be realistic, because you're never going to find absolutely everything you want in a person. Exactly. Who was that girl before? I've forgotten her name. Steven, what was it again? Oh yeah, Willow. Wow, she was really beautiful, that's true. As soon as you met her, she just gave off a really kind and nice vibe, you know? She had great skin, her hair always looked really pretty, she dressed nicely and had nice shoes. Everything seemed to be exactly what you were looking for, man. She just seemed like she really took care of herself. Clean, well presented, the whole package. Oh, would both of you pack it in? Why do you keep going on about my dating life?
Just stay out of it. This isn't your problem. All your nagging is making the booze taste bad. Anyway, is married life really all that? Is it even worth the hassle?
Of course it is. It's a great feeling to know that when you're going through something tough, there's someone that has your back and shows you there's a reason for you to keep going. My girlfriend is just the cutest thing I have ever seen in my life. She's like a little bunny rabbit or something, bouncing around. Do you want to see some pictures of us together? I have a folder on my phone. There's loads in there I could show you.
Oh, get out of here with that, you idiot. Huh? Wait a second. Did the two of you get married? These look like pictures from a wedding.
Actually, yeah, we did. Also, did you hear? Willow got married really fast, too. She hadn't been with her boyfriend for very long, either.
What? Did you just say Willow is married? Who is she married to? What kind of idiot has she ended up marrying? When did this happen? I never heard about any of this. Are you keeping it a secret from me?
Hey man, calm down. It's been ages since the two of you ended things. What has it been, like 6 years? Why would she have needed to tell you? Yeah, she got married a few months back to some new guy. I heard from someone that her dad introduced him to one of the younger guys at his company, so I guess they must have hit it off and decided to get married. You're just going to get upset hearing about this, though. Let's talk about something else.
I actually can't believe this. Now that amazing apartment has gone to some random guy from her dad's work instead of me.
This really is just too funny. Huh? Oh yeah, I had forgotten about that apartment. It did sound really good. Come on though, man. We've been trying our best to introduce you to a nice girl. If you would just give them a chance, you might even meet one you really like. It's not like you have to marry them straight away. Just get to know them a bit and see how things go.
You're right. You have to set me up on a blind date right away. I need to get myself out there. Oh my goodness, that was sudden. Okay, she's not at the same level as you professionally, so that's a no. I don't think she would be your type, so another no. She's too old for you. Come on, there has to be someone. I'm working away at this successful security company. I'm a real catch. Do you know how many years I've spent at that place? I'm on a decent salary now. Girls should be desperate to date me. Loads of my colleagues from back when I first started have quit or been fired, like bang, 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 dropping out of the company. I held on though, and I'm still working there now. That's pretty impressive. I've got plenty of good qualities and green flags. If you added them all, I'm just the perfect future husband for any woman. Although, I guess that does mean that I could only really date a top-class woman. Anything less than the very best just isn't good enough.
God, give me strength.
Sure, Steven, you're a real catch. You're doing so well for yourself, you're right.
Any woman would be lucky to have you.
Man, why are you calling me again? I told you just stay out of it and let me do my thing. I'm Steven. I can do anything. Women love me. Hey, stop showing off and acting all arrogant and just be friendly and nice, okay? You'll scare her off if you come on all strong like that. I know. I told you to leave it. I know what I'm doing. Oh, I think I see her heading over. Gotta go. Bye.
Excuse me, are you Steven? I am meant to be meeting someone for a blind date.
I am, yes. It's great to meet you. Please, have a seat. Hey, this girl seems pretty good. I like her style and her clothes look pretty expensive. She must have a decent job to be able to afford high-quality stuff.
I have to say, though, I've always heard that the salaries in those kinds of medium-sized financial security companies aren't actually that good. It turns out you're a bit older than I was hoping for, too. Did it take you a while to get promoted? Normally, someone your age would be further up in the company than you are right now.
I'm sorry. Well, no, that's just where I am right now. Do you think I'm not good enough for you? I thought I was doing pretty well for myself.
Actually, yes, I do. To be honest with you, after 10 years at the same company, I would expect someone to be closer to being a director. Have you ever thought about quitting and looking for a job at another company?
It can be a good way to get a better job title and a decent pay raise. I don't think I've ever seen someone your age who has spent their whole professional career at one company. Most people move somewhere else after a while to try something new and learn some new skills to improve their resume. I have skills. I've gotten good at my job because I've stayed there for longer. I've never been told I was lacking anything by the company, and I've been getting promoted gradually the whole time I've worked at the business. I'm an impressive guy. Why are you suggesting I'm not the complete package? You're just a gynecologist. That's not even a proper doctor. I don't have any kids from previous relationships, which is getting pretty rare among guys my age. I'm no strings attached. God, I can't believe this. Why did I ever turn down a woman who was offering me a huge fancy apartment in the best neighborhood in town? What was I thinking? I really don't understand why you're getting so upset. I was just talking about some of my reservations. Surely you could have expected what I was going to say before we met. Realistically, at our age, we're meeting because we're looking to get married. You should have reflected on your flaws and been aware of them at the very least. Did you not take a look at yourself before you came out to figure out how best to sell yourself? Because yelling like this isn't it. I can see that you're not really very confident, given how angry you've gotten when I pointed out my concerns about you. What? What are you talking about? You said I wasn't a real doctor because I'm a gynecologist, but I actually work in the oncology department. You clearly weren't listening to me. I do research on cancers that specifically affect women. My work is really important, and I'm proud of my job. I reckon my chances of finding someone are much better than yours, even if we only looked at our careers. Especially considering you've been pretty rude to me from the very beginning of our date. It just isn't attractive, you know. What did you say to me? Come on, you're being unfair. You're just trying to drag me down and make me look bad. You know, when I first arrived, I thought you looked okay. I gave you a quick look up and down, and I wasn't too disappointed. Now I see I shouldn't have judged you on looks alone. I've seen and heard all I need to. I'm leaving now. Huh, fine. Go away then. You know, you're never going to end up getting married since you're already so old. I can't believe my friend thought this girl would be a good match for me. What was he thinking, trying to set us up together? Our performance this year has fallen short again. The boss isn't going to be pleased about this. If we keep failing consistently in every quarter, we're going to be in serious trouble. You already know the company has been going through hard times, and lots of our colleagues have been let go to cut costs. Well, I promise I'll do better. I can work harder and improve our performance. To be honest, though, the market isn't very strong right now either. It's making it difficult to succeed no matter how hard we work. I don't want to hear it. Our competitors are doing just fine, and they haven't had to fire any of their employees. You're the only one who hasn't been doing well enough. Don't get me wrong, I hate having to have conversations like this with my employees, but it's just unavoidable sometimes. There's really nothing I can do. It's just a part of my job as the manager for our team. I understand, boss. He's just sitting there in his office, pecking away at the rest of us, but I'm the one who's really suffering and having to work my butt off every single day. I have to make them understand the situation. God, it seems like my age is really starting to show. I have so much to learn about all the new technology and companies, and it's affecting my performance. I just can't keep up like I could before. This is so frustrating. What am I going to do? It will be tough, but I need you to get your figures up by your next performance review. You understand? The boss wouldn't be happy to see another bad quarter. Yes, sir, I understand. Man, I really wish I could quit this job. I've just had enough. Steven! What are you still doing in bed this late? Come on, get up quickly! You've just been wasting your time lately since you quit your job. Come on now! Mom, please give me a break. I'm so tired, I just want to sleep. I was working such long hours. I feel completely burned out. I'm not going to get better if I don't get to rest up for a while. I can't believe you just up and quit your job at your age. What were you thinking? Do you even have any plans for what you're going to do now? I mean, I got some severance pay, so I'm fine for a bit. I reckon I'll just get into business somehow. What? You're going to start something on your own? That's crazy! Just go and join a good company.
There are loads all over the city.
You have no idea what you're talking about, Mom. Just please be quiet and stay out of it. Go away and leave me alone. Get out of my room.
Steven! Don't yell at me like that. Open this door right now.
I just don't know what to do. There's no way I would be able to get one of the jobs I really want. I don't have enough experience. I haven't even had any calls about interviews. God, this is all just so annoying. What do I do now? I didn't know this was how things would turn out, but what else was I supposed to do? Everyone kept telling me that I should quit.
A few years ago, I thought of my situation as something that just happened to me. I didn't realize how much power I had over my own life. Recently, I've been hearing more news about how everyone involved has been doing, which made me think of this story again. When I saw Steven's reaction to the apartment my parents were going to give us, I realized that he was just a greedy, money-hungry man. He wasn't the right person to be my husband, so I ended things. His parents are still crazy, and they still think it was reasonable for them to ask me to pay for the wedding in our house all by myself. Steven tried to visit me a few more times after I got married, begging me to forgive him, but I just called the cops. As soon as he heard the sirens, he went running away. I heard a rumor that he lost his job at the company he worked for so long, and now he's just sitting around at home. I bet his mom is frustrated with him for gaming all day. But really, their whole situation can be traced back to her. After I ended things with Steven, I met my now husband. He is sweet, generous, and normal, with stable parents and a good job of his own. Thank you for listening to my story, and enjoy the rest of your day.